Algoma Steel may pause exports to the US as it awaits clarity on this threatened doubling of US tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum to 50% starting tomorrow. The company is asking the Canadian federal and provincial governments to take swift action in support of the industry. We're joined now by the CEO, Michael Garcia. Michael, thanks very much indeed. Not a happy day for you and others in the industry, I know. Can you give us an idea, in normal times, how much of your output roughly would go to the USA?
Well, in normal times, it's anywhere from 50 to 60% of our order book goes to our U.S. customers.
And you already now, this is such a stop-start thing, you already had put a temporary pause on your shipments and then Trump delayed the tariffs. Are you thinking now you'll have to pause the shipments again?
Well, we're looking very closely at our U.S. Shipments. I know that when we paused shipments for one day in last week, when we had the inclination that the 25% tariff might go off, because remember it was put in place on a Tuesday. I think by Thursday it was back to zero. So by not shipping on Wednesday and Thursday morning, we saved several $100,000 in tariffs. So we'll probably do the same thing tomorrow until we make sure we see the actual 50% tariff rate in the system, so to speak, just to make sure we know what we're dealing with.
And there's an important point here. I think it applies to you and many other Canadian exporters. You are also the importer of the steel into the United States, so you're on the hook for the tariffs?
Correct. We're the importer of record, so we have the obligation of paying the tariff, and we do that based on the sales price of the material and the timing of when it crosses the U.S. border. So, getting anything across the border before the 50% tariff is officially in effect is very important because we are about to go from 0 to possibly 50% in the next several hours.
Are you trying right now to get as many trucks south of the border as you can?
The border is about 300 meters to my rear, and I'm sure any trucks that we have ready for a U.S. customer, I sure hope is crossing as we speak.
At what point does it become just uneconomic or impossible for you to actually sell steel into the USA? You just won't be able to compete.
Well, if we want to compete and make a margin, make a profit to attract shareholders, to attract the type of cash and generate the type of cash for future investment, future growth opportunities, rewarding our shareholders, rewarding our employees, rewarding our stakeholders. I think, a 25% or a 50% tariff already significantly impacts that. If the discussion is more, can you stay in operation and pay the light bill, so to speak, then it's a larger number. And it all depends at the end of the day on the underlying price of steel. We know since Inauguration Day, steel in the U.S. has risen over 30% in sales price. So obviously an increased sales price certainly helps.
Right. It's hard to find good news here, but that eases the pain a bit for you if you do go on selling steel into America?
Correct. But obviously, we aren't in operation to simply survive. We want to thrive. We're implementing our new electric arc furnace. We'll be producing electric arc steel in a matter of weeks. That's a fantastic transformation for the company. We'll be lower cost, we'll be more flexible, we'll be a greener company. So we are on the verge of a significant transformation in the company. And those are all very good signs. And we hope that the current uncertainty and volatility gets worked through.
At midnight tonight, where will your tons actually start going if they're not going to be going to the U.S.?
Well, we have an opportunity. Half of our order book, and it's probably more than half most recently, is to our Canadian customers. We know that at a large 50,000-foot view, Canada consumes 16 million tons of steel, and almost half of that, or a little over half of that, is supplied by foreign steelmakers, China, the U.S., and others. So, we're calling every Canadian customer. If there's one appeal I would make is if there's a Canadian user and buyer of steel and they aren't buying Canadian steel, please give Algoma Steel a call because we want to be your supplier.
Could you remind us, what are the main products you make? For example, is the auto industry important to you?
Certainly. We make flat rolled steel products. So we sell steel that goes into the automotive supply chain for the internal parts of cars, frame rails, skid plates, other durable parts of automotive frames and assemblies. We make steel for the oil country tubular goods. We make steel for manufacturers of durable goods like cement mixers and garbage trucks. We make steel for people building bridges. It's really across many sectors of the economy.
Have you been on the phone to any of the Detroit car makers, automakers today? Have they given you any indication as to whether they would be willing to pay more for your steel?
We have frequent and ongoing conversations with all of our steel suppliers. We have a pretty large amount of inventory co-located right near our automotive customers in just-in-time industry, because you have to have a just-in-time inventory, because you have to have 100% promise delivery to those type of customers. So we've had those type of discussions. They are trying to understand what the impact on their supply chain is going to be as certain sub-assemblies or finished automobiles cross the border. So I'm sure they are working through many of the same issues and dealing with the same uncertainty that we are.
At what point, and I'm sorry to strike this note, but at what point would you have to start shutting down operations in a significant way?
Well, we're a long way from that. We're right now, because we aren't yet making electric arc furnace steel, we are blast furnace steel producing, so it's quite a significant and costly endeavor to pause a blast furnace and protect it and send the people home. So we are looking at redirecting as much of our business as possible into the domestic market, the Canadian market. I think there's certainly things that the Canadian government can do to strengthen that market and shut out that market or make it much more difficult for this foreign steel to have such a large percentage of the Canadian domestic market. And we also appeal to Canadian producers and Canadian users of steel to buy Canadian. So that's where our focus is. And I think that's where the focus will remain. We're a long way from having to take a decision to shutter operations or pause operations for any length of time.
What do you want the federal and provincial governments to do right now?
Continue doing what's best for Canadians, continue to try to engage with the Trump administration to try to understand if there's common ground where we can solve a problem. It's disheartening to see almost negotiation, or if you want to call it a trade war. I hate using that word because war is a very serious term to use. But it's really disheartening to see it played out, via tweet or, shot, counter shot, shot, counter shot. I would much rather it happen at a table discussing all the aspects of the North American trade and how can we continue to make North America a fantastic trade environment for the United States, for Canada, and for Mexico. That's what happened in 2018 after the 2018 tariffs. It took 10 months to come up with a negotiated USMCA agreement, which I believe President Trump called the best trade agreement ever. I think to the extent that trade in North America can continue to be worked on, and each country's issues with free trade and problems with the current trading environment can be addressed in a productive manner that leads to prosperity, fantastic jobs, and fantastic opportunity for everybody in the United States, everybody in Canada, and everybody in North America. I would hope that we can get to that type of ongoing dialogue and back and forth rather than it happening, in the way it's been happening the last week or so, which makes it very disruptive and difficult to deal with.
I said you weren't busy enough with your big new electric furnace coming into action. Yeah, Michael, thanks very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Michael Garcia, CEO of Algoma